Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. So my name is Jessica Warner, and I just finished my master's degree in March. So, yay. So this evening, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the work I did for my graduate thesis. It was a mix of history, international relations, human rights, and education. So truly an interdisciplinary endeavor. So my thesis dealt with refugee children and their education. So early on in my research, it became very clear that education in emergencies is not a very high priority. Essentially, there are three main categories included in traditional humanitarian interventions: food, shelter, and health. Education kind of falls by the wayside in order for these other needs to be met. My point of view is that educational opportunities for refugee children are equally as important as these three traditional focus points. In order to resolve conflicts and prevent them from occurring in the future, children have to receive an education. For my thesis, I researched two specific refugee crises, first being mass displacement after the Holocaust. Displacement camps, called DP camps, were mainly set up in Germany and Austria after the conclusion of World War II. Over 1.2 million children were killed during the Holocaust. Therefore, the learning opportunities established in the camps needed to serve a generally small number of children. Since their lives had been so disrupted by the war, children in the DP camps were very far behind in their schooling. Some children were so young that they had never attended school at all, and older children who were now young adults had not been able to finish their educations or learn any type of skill or trade. I also researched the growing number of refugees currently fleeing from Syria. The United Nations-operated camp Zaatari is located in Jordan and is one of the newest UN refugee camps. Zaatari was opened in 2012 and currently houses about 80,000 people. Unlike the DP camps of post-World War II, there are many Syrian refugees who are children. Over half of the residents of Zaatari camp are under the age of 18. So after a little over a year of research, including completing an internship and then volunteering with a refugee resettlement NGO in South King County, I developed three key factors that I feel contribute to a successful education program for refugee children, and then applied them to my two case studies. So each case was found to be successful in two of the three areas. So the first criteria was accessibility. This means that classrooms or learning centers need to be easy for the students to get to. So in most cases, that means within walking distance to where the children live in the camps. Classrooms have to be open to every child, no barrier based on age, gender, nationality, the language they speak, or their academic level. For the DP camps, educational opportunities were easily available to all children, but it's important to keep in mind that there were significantly less children to accommodate. A number of languages were spoken in the camps: German, Polish, Yiddish, Hebrew. But through my research, all indications were that this didn't pose a great challenge. Many people spoke 2 or 3 languages and could easily communicate with each other. In Zaatari, however, attendance rates in schools are pretty low. In the entire camp, there are only 3 schools, and many children reported to UN workers that they don't feel safe walking around the camp by themselves. Children have also reported that they can't attend class because they have to work to support their families financially. And also an issue for girls is that sometimes their families think they will be better off if they marry them young. It's also important to have properly prepared teachers. Working with refugee students has its own unique challenges, and educators need to be aware of strategies to counteract them, as well as feel like they have a support system. So in Zaatari, teachers are either United Nations employees or they are certified by the Jordanian government. They're international aid workers or professional teachers, which was not the case in the DP camps. Initially, it was other residents who took upon the task of teaching children in the DP camps. It wasn't until a year or so after the war ended that foreign aid workers began to go to the camps, but they didn't receive consistent training, if any kind of training at all. And lastly, the third criteria was that educational programs also need to benefit the community in which they serve. Refugee children need to have opportunities to learn so they can interact with others, learn coping strategies, and other skills that will be needed when they hopefully return home. And both of the cases were successful in this aspect. While education hasn't been a priority in humanitarian interventions up until now, that is changing. The United States, other governments, and organizations have joined efforts and created an initiative called No Lost Generation, where the goal is to provide education to Syrian refugee children. I'll end with a great quote from the No Lost Generation website that sums up my work. The world has a responsibility to ensure these children's education and well-being, even as it strives to find a lasting solution to the conflict. One day, when the crisis ends and these children grow up, they will be the ones to rebuild. The world cannot afford to lose this generation. Thank you very much.